Shalom Aleichem. It's amazing to be in Eretz Yisrael. We're just here for just over a month now, and I've just a small thought from the Sforno that I feel I have to say is the Sforno says on L'chun Ranana Hashem, in Kabbalah Shabbos, it says the Sforno. It's an incredible Sforno. He says because in the future, before Mashiach comes, there's going to be a gathering of Jews in Israel, a big gathering, and it's going to be before Mashiach comes, and people are going to need to strengthen themselves to hold on. So every time a new person comes and joins it, so they have to say to everyone else, we're here for Hashem. For me, it's still new. So we have to tell each other, like, wow, look at this. After 2,000 years, it's just so unbelievable. Rav Scheinberg, Olav Shalom, told Rabbi Haber, who is our family in Beit Shemesh for a living, that when you come to Israel, it's a kapara for anything they ever did wrong in your life. Says, why is that? It's because it's such an amazing thing that a Jew made it back after all this time. And that just makes such a simcha in Shemayim, they can't even think about anything bad. Steinberg said that. It's an amazing thing, yeah. So, Baruch Hashem, my head has been spinning, and I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to give this shiur. And Be'ez Hashem, they will do. Is this something to do? No, maybe just sorry. Okay, sorry. So basically speaking, there was this one time I was with my friend. One of my earliest baby experiences when I was with an old friend of mine, David Marian. And we're in his living room, and I had been playing with his son for a while. He's one of my first friends who had a kid. So I was playing with his son for a while, and after a while, the mother walked into the room. And the son, the baby, he was a few months old, started crying in this funny way. It was like he cried a little bit, almost and then stopped because the mother's actually there. But it was almost like he realized in his own little baby way that he hadn't been with her until now. And so he had to do a bit of a cry just to make up, limafreya, for what did I say limafreya in English again? To make up backwards in time for having not been with her. So I think that in a way, we could understand hearing the shofar, the sound of the shofar in this kind of a way. Rosh Hashanah is coming, and on some level, like the Rambam says, Afal and open up the Rambam so I don't have it precisely. Afal even though the mitzvah of the shofar is a chok, is a rule from Hashem that we just have to do. Alpichen remez yeshbo. There's a hint in it. Uru yeshenim mishinachem. Wake up, sleepers, from your slumber. That there's this thing of where have I really been holding? And there's this depth of remembering Yom HaZikaron. We have already the modern day Yom HaZikaron, but in the Chumash, Yom HaZikaron is Rosh Hashana, and it's called Yom Truah, Yom Zichron Truah, to remember through this sound. Now, the Gemara in Rosh Hashana, although I have all these Gemaras open, I didn't open up that one. The Gemara in Rosh Hashana, it's late, I think it's Daf Chavtes, I don't remember. Anyways, I'm not going to flip through. It says that you're not allowed to use a shofar from a cow. Why not? It's because the Jews once made a golden calf, and you're not allowed to bring in kategor nasis anegur, something that argues against us. The golden calf is a bad memory. We don't want to, when we're trying to daven, it should be a good year and Hashem should judge us positively. We don't want to bring that up. So the Gemara says, just like the Kohen Gadol, when he walked into the Holy of Holies, couldn't wear his regular clothing that had gold in it, because gold is also, because there's the golden calf, as in the name, was made with gold. So the Gemara asks, but wait, the rest of the time when the Kohen Gadol is not in the Holy of Holies, he is wearing gold. So you see, it's not such a big deal. And the shofar is, after all, blown not in the Beis HaMikdash at all. So the Talmud says, no, shofar kilifnim dami. The shofar is considered like you're in the Kodesh Kodashim. The Kodesh Kodashim has a higher standard. The Holy of Holies is a higher standard. You can't bring in there something that brings up a bad memory. Even if it's all positive now, you can't bring, even the Kohen Gadol's clothes that the Torah says he has to wear, they have gold in them. He can't wear, he has to change to white. Because the shofar kilifnim dami. Shofar is halachic moment of being in the Holy of Holies. It's considered like that's why we can't use one from a cow. It's also brought by the Mishnah Brura in his Bir Halacha. He asks a question: why are you not allowed to blow a shofar in a dirty place, in a garbagey place? You're allowed to do a mitzvah in any garbagey place. You're not to make a bracha or a daven in a garbagey place, makom hatinofet. But to do a mitzvah is fine. A shofar is a mitzvah. So he leaves this question tzarich. So I heard just over Shabbos from Rabbi Kurik in Beit Shemesh B'Shem, one of the Rosh Yeshivas in Lakewood, I can't tell you which one, who said you see from there that the answer to the Mishnah Berurah's question is because the shofar is a tefillah, even though you're not saying anything. It's a tefillah, so it has the halachas of tefillah. So the shofar on one hand is a mitzvah, but it has halacha of tefillah. That's why you can't blow it in a dirty place, like you can't make a bracha. Shofar is kilifnim dami. Even more than that, it's a very special tefillah. It's like you're in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Now it's known to Breslover Hasidim. It's known a statement. I forgot who made it first. Of Reb Levi Bender or somebody earlier who said, who pointed out from the poem that we sing on Yom Kippur called Mareh Kohen. The shine of the face of the Kohen. So it says like a rainbow in the clouds, like all these amazing comparisons. And it says, you know what it's like? Like a person who is davening alone before the Melech. They say, you see, the Mareh Kohen is, when he's coming out of the Kodesh Kodashim, is compared to, meaning that thing is even more, meaning a person alone going to Hashem to daven, as Rabbi Nachman said, is so important for us to do every day, to talk to Hashem. I've maybe been Yotze with just a few seconds or minutes every day these days because things have been crazy. But I feel funny saying it if I'm not really holding and doing it. But anyways, tshuva, to really go to Hashem, to really go out to Hashem, forest ideally, at night ideally. Rabbi Nachman says, forest means a place that you don't associate with other people. Nighttime, he says, ideally should be the second half of the night. Imagine being in a forest in the second half of the night. It's like, whoa, you're really alone. It's a little bit scary. Why second half of the night? Because most people are sleeping. Because if it's daytime I'm in the forest, but I'm still going to think about other people. So my mind is going to be limited by social constraints. That's going to stop me from really davening. I need to go to the wild. I need to be out to really, really daven. This, Rabbi Nachman says, is how his Bodhisattva should go. And the Mareh Kohen is compared to that. Right? The Mareh Kohen, which represents what a person looks like when they come out of the Kodesh HaKodashim. Right? And we said the shofar is as if you're in the Kodesh HaKodashim. But I think that when the Rambam says, Remez Yeshbo, wake up from your sleep, what's the hint towards? The hint is, remember that you have in you a cry to Hashem. This mitzvah, we're officially doing it. We have to do it. It's make a bracha on everything. What's the hint to? The hint is, do you remember that you have in your heart a cry to Hashem? You remember that? Did you forget that Hashem is with you? The remez of the shofar isn't the shofar, it's to something. It's a remez to, the Rambam says, wake up from your sleep. It's a remez to, I'm saying, maybe it means, what's really being awake is when we really be'emes daven, when we really mamash, when we really like on that level. It doesn't have to necessarily exactly be the forest or so late at night, but the aspect of being in the forest that late at night, when we really go there, when we really go to Hashem truly, and really, really pray. And there's a Midrash Rabbah that supports this notion. Again, one that didn't open. We're going to get to all these points this time. The Midrash Rabbah says, it brings a pasuk from Koheles. Tov kaf nachas michafnaim hevel rus ruach. Better one handful of, or one spoonful. Better one spoonful of nachas. How do you translate nachas? Good stuff, whatever. Nachas, people should know. Then chafnaim, then two handfuls of hevel, of vanity and bad spirit. So the Medrash actually says, this is incredible, that it's greater those times when we go to Hashem and bring, they're talking about a korban. It's a Medrash Rabbah in Parshas Vayikra. That's where it is, towards the beginning. Unfortunately, it's not right now, but it's there. The Medrash Rabbah says this. It says, it's talking about an Ola. The whole Vayikra, the whole Sefer Vayikra starts with bringing a the laws of bringing a sacrifice that I don't have to bring. That is a nidava. That is a voluntary offering. So it says the Medrash Rabbah, greater is this little bit of the voluntary offering of the cheapest one, the Jew who can't afford a nice big animal, but only a sack of flour. Greater is that small sack of flour than the 2 handfuls of incense that is brought by the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur to the Kodesh HaKodashim. What's the difference? Even though it's so high, it's so holy, but you have to. So it's not the same to Hashem. Unbelievable. It's mamish like this dress of Torah that they point out from that Piyut Marakohen. The face of the Kohen that comes up from the Holy is like the person who really goes to Hashem for their own reason, not because they have to, because they want to. So it's worth so much more. Tov chaf nachas maybe malo chaf nachas michafnai. I've got the exact part. Unfortunately, I don't have anything open here. But in any case, the pasuk in Kohel is better a spoonful of nachas. A spoonful of nachas. Do we remember that we have it in us? A spoonful of nachas. It's there. It's mamish there. The whole Sefer Vayikra starts with that, which is the Sefer of Avoda. Our tefillah now is our Avoda, is our service. This is the whole Sefer Vayikra starts with that. So this we're saying is the hint that the Rambam speaks about. You definitely need to know. Is that one free? Is pass. This is something I always do whenever I teach. I'm not used to talking so much, so my mouth always needs more. The old days, this was Sarah's job. Oh, she's watching. But she's always fill it up. Anyways, so this is this remez. Now let's go deeper. This is this remez the Rambam is saying. A shofar, which is an official thing we all get together to sound out this cry, is a remez that it's in us, this cry. It's a remez to wake up to that, remember that, it's in us, mamish in us, this cry. Let's go to the next level with this. The Gemara in Rosh Hashana Chavav Amud Beis has an argument. Should we use a straight shofar of a Ya'el? Okay, shall Ya'el Pashut, straight? Or should it be of the Zachar? The Ya'el is the female ram, right? Or the Ayal, the ram that is kafuf, that is curved. Okay, if I'm remembering correctly, if I'm saying it good about the animal taxonomy, people could look it up. I think that's how it is. That the Yael is the female, maybe a different animal. The Yael. Oh, okay, good. There's 2 different kinds of animals. One has I think it's only the males. I was just realizing. I think it's only the males that have. Anyways, the point is, there's a straight one and there's a curved one. The curved one is the straight one's from the Yael. The curved one is from the Ayal. So the halacha is we use the curved one, right? We don't use the straight one. Could be that the halacha is that on a Yovel year we blow a straight one. That's another story. But the point is, for what do they represent? The Gemara Mamish says what they represent. or more specifically, Rashi says what they represent. Because the Gemara's language is a little bit hard to understand. I'll just take you straight to Rashi. Whoever wants to look this up should. It's Gewalt, Rosh Hashana Chaf Vav on the base. Rashi says, what's the issue of it being bent? Is because the more bent over a person is, the better, the Gemara says. So Rashi says, what does that mean? Because it says in Malachim Aleph Perek Tes that Hashem said in his answer to Shlomo HaMelech's tefillah. Shlomo HaMelech built the Bayis Rishon, the first Beis HaMikdash. Hashem afterwards came to him in a vision and said, "This is great," and I'm paraphrasing. And one of the things Hashem says is, "V'hayu einai v'libi sham kol hayamim." My eyes and my heart will be there all of the days. So that means that Hashem is looking down. So the curved shofar represents that we should be curved also looking down, like Hashem looks down at us. Isn't that interesting? It's think it should be the opposite. My cry to Hashem should be straight. That's what the straight one represents. The pasuk in Eicha, which says, "Nisalev avenu el kapayim el kel bashamayim." We lift Eicha Perek Gimel. We lift our hearts up to our hands to the God in heaven, and they learn from there that the shofar should be straight. Rashi says.
When the surface is curved, it's curved to go upwards. No.
Yeah, but when a person is curved, their eyes look down, right? Mm-hmm. So they say the curvature of the shofar, the Gemara says, is kamar de kayif inish daite tfei mali. The more a person curves his dat, doesn't even mean necessarily his body. It's better like that. So what's this about? This curve, this straight. So there's an amazing. There's a page at the back called Poras Yosef, who says that this is based on the Gemara Yavamas Kuf Hey on the base. It's unbelievable. Gemara in Kuf Hey says, when we daven, what should we do? Should we look up or should we look down? When we're davening, should you look up or should you look down? The Gemara has a machlokas. Rabbi Chia and Rabbi Shimon bar Rebbe had this argument. They were sitting by the doorway. It's interesting. Chad minayu. One of them said, one who davens has to put his eyes down. That same pasuk, Hashem's eyes are down. The other one says, I should be up. The exact same psukim that are brought here for shofar. There's another proof, by the way, to that Lakewood Rosh Hashiva's answer to the Mishnah Berurah's kasha. Why can't you blow a shofar in a dirty place? Because shofar is davening. You see the curvature and the straightness of the shofar is mamish exactly related to the same two psukim of davening. Should you look up or should you look down?
What was the second pasuk?
Second pasuk is Nisalev avenu el kapayim el kel bashamayim. We lift our hearts up to our hands, like something kind of like that, So the halacha, the Gemara says what the Rava says what the halacha is. My dear beloved Rava. Your eyes should be looking down. The liba lamala, and your heart should look up. That way you're doing both psukim. Your heart, after all, the pasuk in Eicha was saying the heart should be going up. Nisalev avenu el shamayim. And the pasuk in Malachim is v'hayu einai v'libi sham. My eyes and my heart will be there, looking down in at the base of Yerushalayim. By the way, Medrash Rabbah and Shir Hashirim, I can't tell you precisely where. I usually like to give precise sources, but I only did part of them. Anyways, the Medrash Rabbah and Shir Hashirim learns from there, from this same pasuk, that the Shechina is always by the kotel, because it says Kol Hayamim. V'hayu einai v'libi sham Kol Hayamim. The pasuk says. So that's the pasuk that we learn. That's the pasuk that we learn, that the Shechina is there. Because Hashem is looking down, still looking down, still never took his eyes away, so to speak. Good. Now, what am I getting at over here? I'm trying to build an understanding of what the hint of the shofar is. The hint of the shofar is to a cry that's in us. This cry that's in us now, we're saying, has two aspects, just like the shofar has two aspects. One aspect is it's Hashem looking down, this amazing thing, that somewhere deep in me is somehow, and some aspect of what prayer is to connect myself with Hashem looking down. Very interesting thing, to kind of look down at myself. Look down here, Yerushalayim, look down at everybody. On the other hand, there's an aspect, which is more familiar aspect, that my heart is crying up, I'm looking up, I'm just, and the halacha is, the heart should look up and the eyes should look down. That's how the halacha comes out in Shulchan Aruch, based on Rava. So let's go deeper. The Ran in Rosh Hashana, okay, this is the Ran and Daf Gimel Amud Aleph in Dape Harif. Back of the Gemara, there's like a different pagination. So the Ran is asking about the day of Rosh Hashanah itself. Why exactly is Rosh Hashanah the day that Hashem judges people? He says, I understand the other Rosh Hashanahs of the year. Yeah, I'll read it out to you. Lama Adam Nidon Rosh Hashanah Yoser B'Bishar Yomim. Why is a person get judged on Rosh Hashanah rather than any other day? The Bishlam Ashar Dvarim Dainu Tevua. Other things that the Gemara says we get judged on, produce like wheat, pears, fruit, umayim, water. Kol echad bismanu nidon. Each one makes sense because Pesach we get judged on the Tevua because that's a time that we're harvesting, beginning to harvest the Tevua. Atzeres is the time. Shavuos is the time that the fruits become ready. And Chag, Sukkot is the time we're heading into the rainy season, so we get judged for water. Aval Adam, the human being, what's Rosh Hashanah have to do? Yeah? So he says, the Teretz Davar, you could understand this from the Psikta, that the Psikta, this is the root, the earliest source where the Chazal say, B'Shem Rabbi Eliezer, on the Pasuk, Dirshu Hashem B'Himatzo, it says there in the Psikta that on the 25th of Elul the world was created. Well, if that would come out that the 6th day, which is the Gemar Briat Olam, when there's a creature who can reflect back to Hashem, Kamrin and Adam Harishon Shabo Nigmar Olam Nivra B'Yom Shishi Dahin Be'echad B'Tishrei. So that makes sense that we would get judged the day we were created on, right? And it's an amazing thing that we say in the davening, Zeh hayom tchilas ma'asecha, this is the day of the beginning of your actions. According to the Psikta,
25.
According to the Psikta, we should have said that on the 25th of Elul. Yeah? We should have said that on the 25th of Elul already. But we see that the creation of people, for Hashem Kiviyachol, the creation of people, that's when there's really a world, right? You know, it's kind of like, to make an analogy, you know, you bake a whole big Shabbos dinner, but it's not the Shabbos dinner till the people come and enjoy it. It's not up until then, it's just things. So the real beginning of creation, that's why we say that, even though really Tchilas Ma'asecha, the beginning of things was 25th of Elul, which was today. But the Ran is fine. That's all great, according to Rabbi Eliezer, who says, B'Tishrei Nivra Ha'olam. He's of the opinion the world was created in Tishrei. Then it's good. It means Aleph Tishrei was Adam, so therefore we're judged on Aleph Tishrei. But what about Rabbi Yehoshua? Rabbi Yehoshua says, B'Nisan Nivra Ha'olam. So what the heck is Rosh Hashanah? A great kasha, right? A great question. What is Rosh Hashanah? If the world wasn't created now, then there's nothing to do with Adam. Why choose this day? He says an amazing thing. He says, we know there's another story that's going on, another sub-story besides creation that's going on in this time of year, which is Matan Torah, the second Luchos, right? On the 17th of Tammuz, Moshe Rabbeinu came down and broke the Luchos, and then he went back up to daven for 40 days from the 20th until the beginning of Elul, the 20th of Tammuz, plus the 30 days. From the 20th Tammuz is 10 days, plus the 30 days of the month of Av. Those were Kas, those was a time of bad energy. And then Hashem revealed to him the 13 Midos of Rachamim in the beginning of Elul. And that's why we say, Sfardim say Slichos the whole Elul. And we blow the shofar every day because of this, to remember. And 40 days from the Rosh Chodesh Elul was the last 40 days. Hashem gave the Torah again, and Moshe came down with the second was on Yom Kippur. So says the Ran an unbelievable thing. So how does Rosh Hashana fit into that? So Yom Kippur, what 10 days before that? This is a random time. What's Rosh Hashana? Yeah? So what's this random 10 days before? What? Yeah, no problem. What's this random thing of 10? Shalom Aleichem. What's this random thing of 10 days before Yom Kippur? Why should we have Rosh Hashanah this day? Yom Kippur, the Torah is given. If the world was created already in Nisan, then why is Rosh Hashanah the day that we're judged? Yeah. So it says around an amazing thing. He says an amazing thing. It says because generally these are days of kapara. That these are generally days of that Hashem is forgiving Am Yisrael and giving us the Torah again. So Hashem wanted to judge us at a time like that. And then he says a most unbelievable thing. And then he says, the Efshar Od Shemerosh Hashana ve'ad Yom Kippur, specifically these last 10 days, Hischil Hashem lehisratzos l'Moshe u'Yom Kippur nisratzos l'Tamei. Even though already Elul he forgave him, it doesn't necessarily mean he's giving the Torah again. Doesn't necessarily mean. Okay, I forgive you for what happened before. Am I going to give you the Torah again? That's another question. Rosh Hashanah, Hashem, he says, is 10 days before the Torah. He says, that's the day that Hashem began. This amazing lashon that he uses. Sorry, my brain is still fried a little bit. The Efshar, where's the Efshar? No? Hashem began to fully be appeased. This blip, this beginning, means it's an amazing thing. The Ran says it. When Hashem forgives, it's not just like a one-shot deal, like yes, no, yesterday, no, yeah, today, yeah. There's like a beginning of it. There's like a beginning of, okay, we're going to do this. I need 9 more days till we really give the Torah on Yom Kippur. It's an amazing thing. It means there's this blip, there's this moment where it becomes more than just forgiving, but moving forward. Moving forward, we're going to have the Torah again, and we're going to do this whole thing again. It's a whole nother thing, says the Ran. That's when HaKadosh Baruch Hu hischil lehisratzos l'Moshe. It's unbelievable. So that's according to Rabbi Yeshua's opinion. So now we know that there's a klal, Elu ve'elu divrei Elokim chaim. It's always, when there's 2 opinions, always both are true, and that they're both showing different aspects of one higher thing that gets expressed in this argument. So what's this higher thing? Adam gets created, humanity gets created on this day. And what's the parallel to that? Hashem begins to move towards moving forward, giving another Torah. Giving Torah. What does this tell us about like what a person is? On the one hand, like we've been learning, there are these 2 aspects, right? There's my heart going up to Hashem in a way that represents a person being created. They're created. They thank Hashem for being created. There's a distance, right? On the other hand, and I'm crying out, I hope I can be a good person. I just was made, you know. Then there's a second aspect, which is Hashem coming around, bending down again to look at us again. He began to really be appeased by Moshe, to really move towards giving the Torah Yom Kippur. So what really is a person, you might say, is that this idea of Hashem beginning to be appeased and to move forward. That's an aspect of what being a person is. They're one thing, creation of the person and Hashem, that Rabbi Shua and Rabbi Elazar's argument are Elu ve'elu Elokim Chaim. They're both aspects of one thing. Means for me to be a person, Rosh Hashana is coming. I have a chance now. All this I'm saying that Rosh Hashana is like a day where I can write myself into the DNA in a new way. I can become part of the next. My tefillos are. Hashem is saying, be a part of what next year is gonna look like. That's the whole idea of eating the simanim on Rosh Hashanah. Why? Who cares that we should eat this? We should why do you have to have these weird signs? Is because the day itself is Rosh. The day itself contains within it. It's like a brain that contains within it all the information about the body, all the different types of things, and we get to be a part of that. The Naseh Adam, that is in the plural, let us make man, is the first time creation happened, so maybe it was just Hashem doing it. But every Rosh Hashanah is we're becoming part of that. So we need to mimic Hashem and say, I could move forward. I could move forward towards accepting the Torah. Like Hashem could move forward towards giving the Torah. Sorry. And this is like an aspect of what it means to be, to exist. So the word Trua has two meanings to it. On the one hand, in Chumash, I didn't open this one either. On one hand, in Chumash, it says, Lo hibit avin beYaakov, lo ra'a mal b'Yisrael. I'm not supposed to quote the verse off by heart. Anyways, Hashem elokav imo utruas melech bo. Hashem is with us, and truas melech bo, the trua of the king is within us. This is Bilam talking about the Jewish people. So Rashi there says, what's truas melech bo? It means from the word re'ut, friendship. The friendship of Hashem is with us. Amazing thing. Friendship of Hashem. On the other hand, the word trua comes from the word breaking, like it says in Tehillim, Perik Beis, Teroim b'shevet barzel. Perik Beis pasuk test. Teroim b'shevet barzel b'chliyotu tenaftem, to break enemies is called teroim. So brokenness and friendship, a very interesting duo. That's the amazing thing, is that through the brokenness of my crying out to Hashem, the heart that's looking upwards, somehow it becomes a reus. It becomes one with Hashem looking down, and I somehow, in the darkness of that cry, there is optimism. There is a sense of being connected with the divine perspective, of looking down, of the curved shofar. It's amazing coming together of these two aspects, of a human being who's born into the world, being a real person, which means being able to take a step forward, even after things have broken, even after relationships have broken, relationships with Hashem, with people, Rosh Hashana is that blip, that seed, that beginning, like the Ran is saying. It's such an amazing Ran. Hischil Hashem lihisratzos l'Moshe. This is the day that Hashem began to really be appeased, to really get ready to give the Torah again. That's when we're most human, is when we're able to make that turn. It's hard. We're able to make that inner move, which is what the shofar is hinting at us. Don't forget, you can do that. You're amazing. You have in you a neshama that is part of Hashem. This comes out perhaps the most in one of the most incredible Rashis, probably in the whole Tanakh, maybe. There's a lot of amazing Rashis, but this is maybe top 10. I don't know what. I'm not going to try and... everything's tied for first place. In any case, this is an amazing Rashi. Says the Tilim Chav Zayin. This is the Tilim we say every day. L'David Hashem Oini V'Yishi. We say every day from Rosh Chodesh Elul until Simchas Torah. L'cha amar libi bakshu fanai, says the pasuk. To you, my heart says, ask for my face, as panecha Hashem avakesh. For your face, Hashem, I ask. Says Rashi. L'cha amar libi. Bishvilcha, bishlichuscha. For your sake and as a messenger, as your representative, my heart says, seek my face. How awesome is that? My own heart says, on behalf of Hashem, seek my face. Capital M. On behalf of Hashem. Bishvilcha, bishlichuscha, omer libi, bakshu kulchem Yisrael es panai, Lecha, and Rashi goes on to grammatically how lecha can mean this. For you. Lecha also means yours, but it could also mean for you. Bishvilcha. Rashi means examples. I'm not going to be. Yeah. So this is an incredible Rashi. It really links the two aspects we've been talking about. I cry out, and what do I find in there? What's in there in my heart? This incredible thing. This message that's saying from Hashem, yes, seek me deeper. Hashem is talking, my heart says to me, my own heart says to me, on behalf of Hashem, seek my face. It's an amazing Rashi. So this is what we're talking about, is that trua, brokenness, friendship, that this amazing thing, the Rashi says also in Chumash, that we have a friendship with Hashem, we have this connectivity. The Targum, by the way, translates Teruat Melech as the Shechina of Hashem is with them. And Rashi says that that's because he learns that also Reyus, that meaning to say friendship, to say that Hashem's friendship is with us means to say Hashem's Shechina is with us. That friendship and Shechina, and Mamish, that's the way Shechina is manifested, is through friendship. This amazing thing. That in the depth of the brokenness, and the sound of the true as a broken sound, in that brokenness, what fills in the in between, peeking, it says, Meitzitz ben acharakim, like it says, Hashem's looking out at us in between those broken sounds and sending us this amazing message, Bakshu Fanai. Look at things from my perspective. I'm going to connect you up. You're going to be able to do that because our neshama has this incredible paradox of being a piece of Hashem. So when we really go to this place, when we really get the remez of the shofar, this is where it takes us. But let's give all of this an edge. So this is all slightly fluffy, you might say. It's gewalt, it's deep, it's awesome. But how do we make it kind of serious? I use the word edge specifically because I'm going to introduce the notion of shchita. It's interesting the way that things enter into language. That edge, giving something an edge means to make it a little more serious, to make it a little more accessible, to make it a little more practical. And they also have this notion about waking up. I believe it's a statement in English, an epithet, a going thing. Wake up and hear the music. Right? People say that? There's wake up and smell the coffee, but then there's also, is it also wake up and hear the music, or did it just, I think so. I think people say that, yeah. So anyways, that's just a random kind of, the Gemara sometimes does that it takes forms of expression and shows that they're really talking about amazing, truer, higher dynamics. Because Reb Nassim says in Hilchos Treifos Halacha Beis, paragraph Gimel, that why in the Tehillim that we read every day in the morning, one of the Tehillim from Sukkot Zimra says, I'll tell you which one. Roma must kill the grona, the cherev pifios biyadam. There's a Tillim Kuf Mem Test 149 verse 6. Roma must kill the grona, the cherev pifios biyadam. The praises of Hashem are in our throats, and they have a double-edged sword, cherev pifiot. I think it's still used today in Hebrew. Pifiot means double-edged. And Rashi says that the praises themselves are a sword. That's a Rashi for another time. But Reb Nassim says, why is the sword called pifiot? Why say mouths? It's not really a mouth. It's a sharp edge. A mouth isn't so sharp. Why is the word for edge peh? Cherev pifiot. Says, you know why? Because shchita spiritually, you know how shchita happens spiritually? Is when you hear the music. When the music blows you away and shechts you. It changes you forever. An amazing Torah from Reb Nassim. How do we understand it? So
Shlomo used to talk about the music singing you.
Singing you, right. So there's this level. What do we mean when we talk about shchita? Obviously, I want to live for Hashana, the whole thing. Chayim, we want to go Sefer Chayim and so on. We all going to go. But there's a level of going to a higher place of living, a higher level of living that requires a spiritual kind of a shchita. It needs an edge. We have to give an edge to all this. It means that there's got to be, in order for this whole thing to be real, it has to be transformation. It has to actually be transformational. It has to actually make it that my ways of perceiving reality change. Meaning, I think, let's give an example. Reb Nassim wrote a few pamphlets against the Enlightenment that was happening in his day. It was like, there were really, it was a whole thing. There was a whole long story, and he said, he talked about how one of the things that gets attacked the most by the early maskilim, the Jews who were the early ones to get into the Enlightenment, modernity, and even though they were still, most of them, observant, but they were starting to denigrate the Talmud, especially the Talmud. They wanted to make schools where you would learn basically Tanakh and Jewish history. I actually grew up in a school like that, and anything but the Talmud, because they knew that the Talmud has in it really the heart of everything. All the the dynamics of what Yiddishkeit is in the Torah Shabbat Peh and oral Torah. But what did they denigrate first? The existence of demons and angels. This is a very easy thing for the denigrate. Come on, science, like right? We can't measure these things. They really mamish trounce on this. And Reb Nassim was very strong about this. He said, and they also said, you know how you find God? Only through looking at nature and science. So Reb Nassim brings like a slew of verses from the Chumash that say, remember the amazing miracles Hashem did taking you out from Egypt. Remember the Torah that you got. Remember that there were real experiences. It says, Moshe didn't come to the Jews and say, go learn science from the Egyptian magicians. You know, if you want to find God, you got to go. He didn't say that. He said, look, your hand is going to turn white. I'm going to turn some blood red. I'm going to turn water into blood. These things specifically to show them experientially that the physical world that we're in isn't everything. That we're in a sentient universe, to put it poetically. One way I like to put it is Einstein showed that time and space are actually one thing, which in itself is incredible. Mashiach will come when we realize the other aspect, which is brought by the Shla HaKadosh in the 1500s, and an earlier thing than just him, that Ashan, smoke, is the term for this world because it's made up of three aspects. Olam, Shana, Nefesh. Olam represents space, Shana, time. Nefesh, soul. When we'll realize that there's a spiritual dimension, it's also one with all the time and place, and then that's already Geula, because it's going to be impossible to hurt people. We're going to care. We're going to realize that we're in the reality is not just things that we can master and manipulate. We're going to realize that neshama is part of the whole thing. Malachim are part of the whole thing, and there are negative malachim also. He says, you can't say that Judaism doesn't say this. Just look at the Siddur. The Siddur is full of angels, right? Kadosh, 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 you know? He says, look at the Shulchan Aruch. You have to wash your hands in the morning. Why? Because there's a Ruach Ra'ah. And it's not talking just that your hands are dirty. There's a spiritual negative force on you that the Talmud actually calls, funnily enough, Bas Melech, princess. That you wake up in the morning and there's this negative, a spiritual negative Ruach, a spirit upon you that is called princess, meaning like princess sleep, like don't wake me up, you know, and you have to wash it off specifically, right, left, right, left, right, left. This is Yiddishkeit. So that's really what Matan Torah, which Rosh Hashana and Yom Kippur, as we've been speaking about, are very deeply connected. Matan Torah is giving us a way to look at reality, is giving us a connection to Hashem's will in this world, and a picture of what reality really is. Rabbi Nachman once said that when he would come out, he was passing by a certain town, and he said to Rabbi Nassim, I remember over here, I used to go out into the forest and daven to Hashem all night. And when I'd walk out of the forest and I'd look at the world, every time it was like I was looking at a whole new world. Amazing. That's shchita. That's this aspect that the way I saw things before is gone. Another analogy from life to understand this is marriage. There's before I'm married, and the single me to get married kind of has to die. I'm still going to be me, but I'm going into another place where it's a much higher standard. There's going to be someone there all the time. I have to be like a mensch, 24/7. It's not easy. It's not difficult. It's a big bomb. It's not easy. But there's no going back. There's no going back. That's right. We're talking about creation of a person, Rosh Hashanah. We're talking about that blip of moving forward, which is, in a way, the creation of a person. We're talking about participating in our own creation, so to speak. We're talking about hearing that cry of the shofar and remembering that it's in us, and then going out, and whether it will be on Rosh Hashanah, it will be after Rosh Hashanah, just knowing that it's there in us, accessing it, connecting up to Hashem's view of reality, which really means receiving the Torah, right? That's Hashem's view of reality. That we have to do until Sedayim, that the Malachim are around, and I have to myself say Kadosh Kadosh in the Tefillah, that there's a different there's a spiritual reality to the world. This also another amazing Rashi, one of the most amazing Rashis. This one from Talmud, as opposed to Tanakh. Rashi in Brachos Samech Gimel Amud Aleph. He says, why do we make brachos? Why is it so important to make blessings all day long on different things? Listen to this Rashi. He says, Hanhigu birkosa va'olam hazeh. Get yourself used to making blessings in this world. Kidei lihiyos regilim la'olam haba shekulo aroch. In order that you'll be used to it in olam haba, which is completely elongated. One of the terms Chazal has also it comes up on the very last page of Masechet Kulin, is that olam haba is called olam shekulo aroch, the world that is completely elongated. What does that mean? This olam hazeh is short. We all know that. What happened? To all those years, what happened? All those times I was looking at the clock in high school, and it seems like it's forever, but it wasn't. It's boom. Olam hazeh goes fast. Olam haba is stretched out, and when we make brachos and experience all the different things in this world that we make brachos on, we're Rashi says, we're being margil ourselves. We're getting ourselves used to that kind of existence. We could touch it, we could experience it by the practice of making brachos. An amazing Rashi. What I'm talking about over here is things that we can do to experience reality in a new way, to kind of shecht my negative perceptions or not Torah perspectives on things. When I really go to the depths of my cry, then I come to see things from Hashem's perspective. I come to really, really hugging the Torah, really receiving it mamish. Really, that's my reality. It's brought in Tzavas HaRivash, the Baal Shem Tov's will that he left for his Hasidim. He says you should be shomrei mitzvahs. And what does that mean? Miloshan ve'aviv shamaras hadavar. He says from the pasuk by Yaakov is that Yaakov held on to and remembered this thing of about Yosef, that he went, meaning to say he was looking forward always to Yosef maybe coming back. He was remembering the dream, right? When Yosef told him the dream, he poo-pooed it to the brothers, but aviv shamar hadavar, meaning I'm waiting for it to come true. So what's shmiras mitzvahs for the Baal Shem Tov? Means I'm waiting for a mitzvah to come along. Means what's my life? Am I waiting for lunch, or am I waiting for a mitzvah to come along? Am I waiting to finally go to sleep, or am I waiting to make a phone call and help somebody? Am I waiting? Am I waiting to say some tillim to buy something spectacular for Shabbos? Am I shomer mitzvahs, like the Baal Shem Tov said? It means I'm waiting for that. That's what I'm waiting for. Like Yaakov Avinu was waiting for Yosef's dream to come true. It's like a dream come true every time a mitzvah shows up. Really holy people in Mamish like that. There's a story. I forgot who. One of the Leibish Rosh Yeshivas was on in the middle dead of winter was on a coach, and they had to switch coaches. And they went to this other coach. And suddenly he jumped off and started dancing like crazy in the middle of the snow, in the middle of the night. And the Talmidim were asking, what's going on? He says, because I noticed that they had a horse and a donkey pulling the thing, and you're not allowed to you're not allowed to use two different kinds of animals, even if you're not doing it to thresh the ground or to plow the ground. Anytime you're not allowed to be pulled by any two different kinds of animals. And I never had a chance to do that mitzvah to not ride on one. So I'm like so happy. That's mamish like the dead of night. It's annoying, and he wasn't thinking, "Oh, we're gonna have to change the animals. How are we gonna even do this?" He's dancing because that's the world he lives in. That's the mitzius. For sure, that's not how he grew up. When he was little, when he would have been annoyed. Mommy, when are we gonna get there? He would have been annoyed. He had to shecht his perspective on reality. He had to grow to another place where that part of me that just can't wait to get there and just get this trip over with is dead. There's an edge to this, right? It's gone. No, I'm dancing that I jumped off the carriage, right? I'm seeing things new. I'm seeing things different. Rosh Hashana is the day of creation. It's a day of creating myself. Means the music, cherev pithios, the sound of that inner cry, that music Oh, that's what's real. Of course, that's what's real. Am I really going to entrust my sense of what life is about and the purpose of life and the depth to the professors and the politicians and the actors to define for me what I should get excited about, and not to mention the advertising executives? Is that who's going to pull me and give me my sense of what reality is? Maybe it has until now, and it creeps in, and we're all mamish, the Gemara in Shabbos talks about a certain type of avodah zarah that people kept in their pockets, and they would take it out and hug and kiss every once in a while. I don't know, the iPhones, these things, everyone's walking around. I mean, I don't know, what's our reality about? What gets me excited? A like on Facebook? These things are, this is real stuff. It has an edge to it. When I hear the music of Hashem's voice saying Bakshu Fanai, that's the real thing. That music shechts me. Cherev Pifios. Why Cherev Pifios is Rabbi? Because the music, his wording is Valkain al yedei hachalif shel hashchita bechinas Cherev Pifios bechinas malchus shekoleles kol asar minei negina. The Shechter's knife is the aspect of all the 10 types of song, as we know from Rabbi Nachman's 10 Tehillim, that all the 10 types of song, that fixes your blood, it fixes all the 10 types of pulse within you, it gets you happy with life. It tunes you into a real rhythm of what's real. Okay, almost done. Why do we forget? Why is it that we actually forget this all year long? So Rabbi Nachman says in Torah Nun Daled, the reason why we forget about Olam Haba, that we forget about the fact that we can connect to Hashem even now, like Rashi says, there's a Rashi in Shas, the Daf Samach Gimel Amud Alpin Braga says that making blessing are to get ourselves used to Olam Haba type of life. Now, there's such a thing as that. There's such a thing. That's what it's for. All the mitzvahs are for that. So Rabbi Nachman said, why do we forget Olam Haba? It is because of Lashon Hara. It says that Torah Nun Daled. What's Lashon Hara? Lashon Hara specifically is things that are true, but that are negative. We're not allowed to talk about them. Okay. There's certain exceptions, but those exceptions are rare. When you're talking about a shidduch, when you're talking about a business deal, or when somebody needs to vent and pour out their thing, they could use it. But those, most of the time, you don't have one of those heterim. Most of the time, you don't have. So what's so bad? We like truth. And the Rambam says in the 10th chapter of Hilchos Tshuva that the highest level of keeping mitzvahs is aseh hamet mipnei shehu emet. Keep what is true because it's true. So then, it's not rechilus. It's not saying something false. It's true. You're saying the truth. What's wrong with it? It's an amazing thing. The Vilna Gaon, the Chafetz Chaim in the Shmiras HaLashon quotes the Vilna Gaon, who quotes a medrash that I've never been able to find. But Vilna Gaon said it. Chafetz Chaim said it. He said it. Must be. That says that when you hold yourself back from speaking Lashon Hara, Zocheh, V'ro'eh, oh man, I'm forgetting what exactly it is. You're Zocheh to see the light of the Shekhinah. I might have it maybe slightly more poetically than that, but that's basically it. Now, why is it that not saying Lashon Hara lets you see this light of Hashem?
Wait, not saying Lashon Hara?
Yeah, not saying
blocks
it.
You from saying it, in other words?
No, saying it blocks you from seeing it.
Okay.
So when you're not saying,
okay.
right, when you do the mitzvah, don't say, then you get to see this light. Why? And the Tzaddik HaKohen in Tzidkas HaTzaddik says also a similar thing. He says, we want to grow spiritually and perceive Hashem in the world. The quickest route is to stop speaking Lashon Hara. Why is it like that? What's this connection with spirituality, with seeing the light of Hashem? think the reason why is hinted at by a Rashi in the beginning of Masechta Sota, the Beis Amud Aleph. Here Rashi is speaking about an untrue statement about someone. The Gemara talks about a husband who is jealous of his wife. That's what starts the whole Sota process going. The Gemara says that's b'di'evet. The whole thing of Sota is a din b'di'evet. Shouldn't ever happen, the Gemara says. If the husband does it, then here's what you do with the whole process. But the Gemara says the whole thing is b'di'evet. One should not do it. And Rashi says on this, why shouldn't I do it? Because will bring us to fighting, and the wife will come to some negativity. Afilu hi tahora, even if she never did anything wrong, it's still going to bring bad. So what's the pshat? It's still going to bring bad if she did nothing wrong. Is because when you are choshed b'ksherim, the Gemara in Brachos brings the 5th chapter. I'm not going to open it now. I didn't open it yet. Is that it says that we learn from Eli and the whole story with Hashana that when you suspect someone of something negative and it wasn't true, then you must bless them. You must. That's what the Gemara learns out. So what's the idea? Is because when you suspect somebody of something that's not true, you're putting them in a box. Right? Now, 1 second. Lashon Hara specifically true. It's true that the person may have done something bad or has some negative character trait or whatever. But it's not true about their neshama. It's actually never really true. Even Lashon Hara specifically defined as opposed to rechilus, gossip, as being saying things that really did happen and really are true about the person. That's only in the way they manifest themselves in this world. But who the person, the emes is always choshed b'ksherim. It's always putting the neshama into a box. And when you do that to one person, and it's so much easier, so much more exciting to do it when it's really true, because it's like, you got them, you know? When you do that, you know what happens? You think you're just putting that person in a box. But every person is a Tselem Elokim. You put one person in, you're putting all of humanity into a box. Because if one person could be limited, that means that the neshama isn't so infinite. It's this. You can't only do it to one person, because that person also has a neshama. So if you're saying that it's possible for a neshama to be in a box, that means you've limited the neshama completely. Even once you do it to one person, you hear the logic. So that's why the world gets darker. And on the other hand, the world gets so much brighter when you don't say it. Because every time you don't say it, you know what you're saying? The truth is, they're bigger than that. That's what you're really saying. That's why the Vilna Gaon says, you see higher, you see the light of Hashem. That's why the Tzaddik HaKohen says, the greatest way to spiritual growth. Because you're seeing the omek of people. And then you're going to be able to see it in yourself and in everyone. And the whole world is like that much brighter. Because I'm not putting the neshama into a box. I'm recognizing it for what it really is. So therefore that means the sound of the shofar, the remez of the shofar, thank you. The remez of the shofar is to remind us that there's a neshama in there that is unlimited. There's a neshama in there that even true things they did in the past is no proof of what it is. No proof. The shofar, the sound of the shofar is to fix all the Lashon Hara heard or said, all those bad sounds. Now comes the sound of a mitzvah. Now comes the sound that's a remez to the neshama. That through its tefillah, it can connect even with Hashem's own tefillahs. It can connect with Hashem's own perspective. Through its tefillah, it can bring down a new ability to perceive reality, Torah in the world, like we've been saying. That's why it's a wake-up, because what made us asleep, what made us forget Olam Haba is all the Lashon Hara we've been speaking, all the boxes we've been putting ourselves and everyone into. Comes this sound, no! It's bigger! Everyone is infinite! It's such an amazing thing. And it's in you to really cry out and daven to Hashem from the broken sound center. Don't forget, go to that broken place. Things are hard, fine, go there. Daven, go to the forest in the second half of the night. If you can't manage do it, think about that as you do it wherever. The davening should be a real thing. One more thing for the Chassam Sofer, should I say? Okay, one last thing, just one last thing. Okay, this Chassam Sofer made my week a few weeks ago. By Ilga Chassam Sofer, the end of Parshas Ki Teitzei, has a little stick Torah about this Tehillim 27, the one that I quoted you from L'cha Levi Bakshufanai. We've been saying that when I really daven, I get to see things from Hashem's perspective, which means I really get to receive the Torah, which is what Yom Kippur, that's Yom Kippur, is the day Hashem gave the Torah again, right? But real tshuva is to really receive the Torah, to have a reality where I'm excited to do the mitzvahs. It's not lunch that punctuates my day, it's the mitzvahs. And when a new one comes in, I'm so excited. Hashem said, Shmiras HaMitzvahs, to be looking forward, like Yaakov was looking forward for the dream to come true. Yosef's dream to come true. So, says the Chassam Sofer, what holds us back so much from tshuva is, well, I wasn't so good. I did things wrong. I have to down my mamish feel bad. I really did things that were bad. He says, incredible thing. He come be. This is just an incredible thing. He says, forgive me. Bikrovalai. I'm sorry. Kikamu v'edei sheker. This is Tehillim 27, verse 12. V'feh Hamas. Edei sheker, and they're coming with Hamas. Now, some of you, I'm sure, know about the concept of Eidim Zomamim. What's Eidim Zomamim is witnesses who come. Let's say there's two witnesses who are testifying in the court that something happened. Two witnesses come and say, you couldn't have seen that because you were with us. Right? So, person does tshuva. Right? And the Gemara in Yoma says that when you do tshuva from love, then your bad deeds become merits. This is an incredible thing. So it comes with Hashana, and you're saying, Hashem, I did tshuva, and it says, so to speak, the heavenly court is looking, well, what did you do on September 18th, 2000, whatever. So then my neshama and my goof proudly say, I did tshuva now. I walked into the yeshiva to learn. But then these other two witnesses will say, no, you were with us. You were downtown making mischief, right? You weren't in the yeshiva that day. Yeah? Oh. And they're right. I really was. Physically. Not. But tshuva makes it as if I was, right? So we're talking about reality over here. Right? How does Hashem look at what's real? Right? We're talking about shechting a perspective that isn't related to Torah. I'm giving this whole thing an edge. We're talking about really receiving the Torah. So the Torah says, the Gemara says, if I really do tshuva, then I didn't do those things. I did good things that day. Right? What? Because
No, I just didn't hear what you said.
Oh, then I didn't do those things. If I really did tshuva, then the averos nasim schios, like the Gemara says, they become merits. Whatever bad thing I did becomes a good thing. He says you have to believe that the things I did negative, the Torah has the power to turn, he says, the theater into the Beit Midrash. Tshuva has the power to do that. Yeah, he says, Lule hemanti liros ketuv Hashem beretz chaim. If it were not for my faith that I believe, here are these Eidim coming, the Eidim Zomamim, the argumentative, negative argumentative spiritual force of God that's coming and saying, no, you were doing it. So then I have to believe, no, I wasn't there. I was doing good things that day. It's an incredible thing. Lule hemanti liros ketuv Hashem beretz chaim. And he ends off, Kavel Hashem, Chazaki Meitzubech Kavel Hashem. Hope to God, strengthen your heart and hope to God means you're fighting with this. I know I did these bad things. And these bad things are encroaching on me, making me feel that I'm a limited person. Like we spoke about Lashon Hara, it's putting me in a box. It's making me feel I can't ever overcome it. So David Melech says, Kavel Hashem, be strong, keep on hoping. And no, the real reality is that Tshuva really tells you didn't do those things. Such an incredible thing. Tshuva really looks at the depths of who you are. Like we said, every Lashon Hara on one hand, it's true, and that's the definition of Lashon Hara. On the other hand, the reason why we shouldn't say this is because Ba'omek, it's not true. The Omek, the Neshama, never did that. One day that person will do Tshuva, it'll turn out he never did it. Right? This, the Neshama can never be limited, can never be boxed by the things that we've done wrong. It's no proof as to who we are. Behavior is no proof for essence. The essence of who we are is a neshama. The shofar is there to remind us of that. David Melech is telling us, like it says in Koinach Sam Sefer, when these Eidei Hamas are saying, you were with us, look at all these bad things you did, and we know you did them, and you know you did them. But you have to say, I'm in different reality. To say, you have to shecht that whole perspective through hearing the music, Cherev Pipiyos, hearing the music of a higher reality, hearing the music of Hashem's perspective on reality. Hashem who loves you and says, you didn't ever do that. You were good. Isn't that amazing? This Chacham Sefer Mamish really gave me a lot of physics. Anyways, L'chaim should be the best year for everyone.